Shelly here with Sirius Dallas Moon, and this is Moon Hour, Moon applying to approach Aldebaran. And it's a great time to think about, when Venus is conjoining Beta Persei. It's a great time to think about how does the world view women? What is the view of the world regarding cases where people were raped? Because this view is dictating if the place will be conquered when Neptune is in Aries and Gemini is going to have Uranus in it soon. We only have, this is April 20, we have but 6 days before the ingress of Uranus to Gemini. It's so easy to conquer a place that blames the raped. I cannot even begin to describe to you. In fact, what would a person that doesn't have in society the ability to be safe and free, not to be worried about being raped, not to experience the misconceptions of society about people who dare to say no. But to see that this is the core reason that causes susceptibility to invasion. And if the place will not be invaded by people that kill all the rapists and abolish rape, it will be invaded by rapists. Uranus in Gemini is a place where land is one. If your 99% of the world population is going to experience some sort of colonialism in the coming decade. Oh, look at this Mars. Look at, in my chart, this Mars is in placement is not good for business. And you know why I'm taking action is not good for my business. Why? Because if you people are stupid and rape people, I have no problem to win over land, and if I kill everybody, I say these are rapists. And if I grant places where person doesn't have to be raped to rape, then sovereignty. People would look at me like a Messiah, but I will never let them look at me like a Messiah. Because Messiahs rape people. Now, alternatively, what society could do is to make sure people are not raped and don't rape. Now, here is the thinking, and most of the mafias that want to colonize each and every region of each and every listener, even if that listener is from the mafia. Most of them are thinking in terms of, let's make the people poor. How do you make the people poor? You allow rape. And then they say, we'll give the people food. But rape people are mind controlled. I'm the one person who thinks different. Let's abolish rape. Not the image of abolishing rape. Sex work is not work. It's an indication that infants were raped in the town, or that this place is a point of attraction to infants that were raped, and then something here happens that these infants, they don't recover because they are raped here. This means this place is asking for it to be conquered by people that will abolish rape. Like I say, Mars right now is in point for my chart to say is not good for business. Why is not good for business? Because if I was thinking business, I would say, let them. Shirley, what do you want? Why you waste so much time and energy? These people are rapists, they rape the people. This village needs euthanasia. Let them. They think that the problem when their house is flipped, when suddenly the tenant is messy and something like that, they think that the problem is the tenant. Let them. Let them lose their property. But I know that those things only lead to cities where people are trafficked. What is profitable cities? And the place that cannot be invaded is a place where people are not trafficked. The people that want to have profitable cities, they want people to be enslaved and trafficked. Because they don't want people to think that they worth something, to think that they see people as slaves. Now, because it's particularly the people that, how should I say that? That see that something here doesn't work. You see, if a displacement, if I wake up today like this and Mars is in a place where it's not good for business for me, what does it mean? I could easily be one of the people that profit off of making your cities a slave city, concentration camp city, a trafficking city, and loot the wealth. And people are mad at me because I'm not willing to do that. But I'm also not willing that the place will stay a place where people are raped. Me, I'm the type of person. You see, I have Gemini midheaven. Nay, not Gemini midheaven. Sagittarius midheaven. The people with the Gemini midheaven. No, they don't even have Gemini midheaven. I'm a type of person that, how should I say that? For me, I could travel. I, I don't need a big mansion. I can sleep in a tent or in a log cabin. I don't know if in a log cabin, maybe in the summer. I don't see myself cutting wood. It's also maybe not ecosystemic. Um, you have an ecosystemic plane that can go to good weather. I mean, it's lovely. The winter can be lovely in some places, but we don't. And those things are basically they're cheaper. They're more ecosystemic and they're more self-sustained. The only thing that will hold back is, let's say, a sense of community, although travelers can sometimes have sense of community. But it has to be safe. And when I look at what is my problem, let's say if, I don't know, a city or a place or a town. And by the way, I have Gemini fourth house. I have no problem with the city either. Especially with new cities, because the Mercury in Aries, with Chiron is Chirony now. Now, for me, very opportune time. The entire world is becoming new cities. All of my workplaces, all of my endeavors were always something new. Something new or something new came about. Um, Now, even NATO, I began to see NATO chart when they changed the Secretary General. And so I always see what is needed. What's the one thing? Because I'm also an economic person. I'm not looking to control the world. If I can make one good contribution, then I have years and years from that. And I say one good contribution is to abolish rape. It's difficult. Yes, it's difficult. Well, it's compatible with Saturn in Aries. It's appeasing Saturn in Aries. It's difficult. You say, but it's what? It's intelligence what? 7th October, do you know how Israel looks like after 7th October? And now who is threatening Israeli weapon? Japan and North Korea. North Korea looks normal, relative. Because such grand invasion is only possible when people rape people. The Menachem Golan culture of Sapiches is our loss in weapon trade. The American get a job to the homeless. Now, to be fair, these things usually come from people that work, I don't know how many hours, but they work so much that they don't see that they are destroying their country. Like I said, for me, it's not good for business. I was shown New York, people were laughing at me because my money began to allow squatting. I don't have U.S. residence. I don't do illegal immigration. I believe, how should I say that? If a person is in a place and something is not working, they should make good assessment. What is not working? What is the solution? And then when is a good time to move? When I say, okay, this is my solution, I pitch the solution. This is what I did when I left Arad, by the way. I pitched the solution. What was not working had to do with ritual abuse of children, the trafficking, and so on, that many people want to make the place a trafficking city. I said, okay, well, if the children are released and each child has a house, then we have intelligence. People are no longer raped. I pitched that solution. I was raped and tortured and even when I ran away. Over nothing. Was trying to save your business. You harmed me. I see, okay, these people have different thoughts, different this, different that. I see one thing, I say, well, this is not true to do to this. I pitch the solution. People show me that. Well, there are many other places where I can pitch the solution. If the people that are thinking a person is raped, even when they pay money regularly, they try to traffic this person even when they pay, and the person, let's say, living on, I don't know, income-based housing, and They cannot get any place that will want a job will want to rape them so that they will be providing information. But this information, see, if a person needs to be raped to provide information, the information is false, and the reason that they want the information is also not so good. Right now there are changes to the intelligence. If you don't like something about Mossad, let me tell you something. Mossad or Shabak or whatnot, let me tell you something. It's because of the rape of the agents. And let me tell you something. They rape the people. The person didn't want to be agent at all. They rape the people. Then they do mind control. Now think logically. The person doesn't know that they're being used. The way that they are being used is by rape. Israel intelligence litigated for rape. Now the entire intelligence is collapsing. I think this is also Chiron return to the Mossad or ISIS. And I said, what? Okay, you people want to use this, use that. Okay, what one contribution is such. Housing first, independent of ability to work, to believe. If an intelligence that abolishes, look what Finland did. Finland took housing first from United States, and it took open dialogue from Netherlands. And they said, bring us the cuckoos, the schizophrenic, the this, the that. Let us talk to them. Let us include them in community. Let us give them housing first, and let us take away from them the burden of the antipsychotics that are basically a form of assassination and castration. They had advantage over the KGB. They're in NATO. Ukraine is not in NATO. Finland is. Every place where the people are raped in intelligence already has intelligence that doesn't have strategic advantage over places where people do not mistreat people that go through a mental crisis. People do not mistreat people that were raped and dare to speak up. People do not look at trafficked people as, oh, they were a good boy, they're a good girl. They deteriorated, or they did not deteriorate. They were raped and tortured. And they were raped and tortured at the place that they came, but to take responsibility, do shadow work on over their lives. Because of things like this, a country loses its biggest strategic advantage in weapon industry. If Israel does not have a strategic advantage over Japan and North Korea, it's meaning that Israel becoming like North Korea in terms of trafficking people. And that's why they find it difficult to approve head of Mossad or head of Shabak. I was working in Israeli-Palestinian Chamber of Commerce for apprenticeship, meaning I would not get paid only for, they were kind enough to pay for the expenses of traveling back and forth with the train and the bus, but I did not even take that money. Why? Nobody touched me there, nobody, but the people around, ex-head of Mossad, very nice person. He said, there are networks of people and so on and so forth. Then we sit at the committee, Paris, Israel, peace, trade, whatnot, and person next to me, I do the protocol, person next to me, big food company begins, I have apartment here, apartment there. I just found it funny. If you have more money than I do, I'm afraid to date you. If you have more power than I do, I'm afraid to do. But also, it's about power distribution so that each people is sovereign. And then what these people try to say, yeah, he will get something from this, you will get something from this. And the ladies, they are expecting this type of interaction. Like this is what they used to. Now you see, I'm not talking about rape, I'm not talking about trafficking. I felt so sick. Yeah. Okay. I felt so sick I could not even take the money that was for the traveling. It was not on a mission. It was not intelligence. It was commerce. And when a person cannot even have their own dwelling without being afraid of being raped, then what future is for? There's no future for such place. Later, what will begin to happen is all the wars that we see. Israel was Pfizer's lab rat, and Pfizer was also astrologer. People did not get the compensation for the Pfizer issue even to this day. The compensation that was so secretive. And then what happened when people don't have representation? The sparking the conversation about the ritual abuse where the lawyers are also a part of. And then what happens? The technology. Do people understand the equivalent of oil embargo was the withdrawing of the pensions from companies like Nvidia and Palantir? Because of what Israel and the United States did, not in Iran. Now, what is the highway for a country to lose sovereignty or to lose mandate of the heaven? Is when they have slavery or labor camps. If somebody shoots the death camps, the labor camps in United States tomorrow, they are seen as liberator. For the people that are already there is euthanasia. And no, they did not start at the current regime. The previous democratic regime, the Democratic Party, would also prepare the ground to that. that the current regime didn't abolish that, yes, this is important, but it actually wasn't voted to abolish that. America's civil war will not have future if people don't abolish rape. כן. Now here is the thing, and I can tell you from my experience, eventually, this thing that I say in the beginning, people say, blah, 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 blah. Also when I edited my mother's book, then they sit and think about this, I don't know. זה? No, 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 I don't know. I'm recording! Okay, then I don't care about the kelim either. No, I have to take a look at it. I have to take a look at the chart. Lot of fortune, this means this was fated. Ascendant ruled by Venus. Venus better per se. Better per se is on my lot of family. But I know I'm used to that. I was just talking about this even when I edited my mother's book. I was like, blah, later she thinks about this, and she said, "You know what? You were right." Now everybody knows when the mother wants to wash the dishes, and she wants every place from every place. You could be the head of United States. You could be sitting in Davos. Nothing. Nothing is more important than that spoon that is not even here. Now, I can be laughing, but I know for sure that I don't laugh at my mom. I say I need to be cautious because if I bring children, and this is why it's important to abolish rape now. The younger generation should be dealing with other problems. That's this thing about Aries. Aries is changing the one thing that we weren't even thinking to change. To get different results. What did BIPOC women do in the United States when they cut the food stamps? Let me tell you what they weren't doing. BIPOC men weren't getting more love. This exposed which of these BIPOC men were affiliated with Epstein through every policy that relies on people being not sovereign, not in their I am, is bound to collapse. In Aries at least. Maybe not in Pisces, but definitely in Aries. even if it is intelligence, astrology, or mafia, or drug cartel, prescribed or not prescribed. Now, when people tend to abolish rape, it's not just, oh, this organization, that organization. In Israel, there was a mutah called Mechoshech Leor, from darkness to light. Epstein infiltrated this fund um, in order to catch the people that come to treat their childhood traumas and try to traffic them to the Epstein ring. I addressed the head of the committee. Now, the head of the committee, they themselves went through that. In fact, they openly talked about this, they used to have a therapist that blamed their choices as a raped child for being raped. They were thinking to unalive themselves so many times in therapy. Now, I tried the Abraham Hicks manifest what we do want, manifested this, manifest that. Amazing. For this manifestation to incarnate, we need to evacuate what's not fitting. I had to contact the lady that owns this. She doesn't own. She makes money out of welfare, because when people make money out of welfare, until they're actually safe, until safe from risk of being raped, they cannot work. Which, by the way, is my situation as well. and and then I tell this lady, listen, you did something that your intention was good, but it was infiltrated by the Epstein. You need to be transparent. Which of the people that donate to your fund are basically affiliated with Epstein's? Which of the therapists that worked are affiliated with Epstein? These people that are affiliated with Epstein, they were tortured, they were raped, but they are a part of the people that infiltrate and rape. And they infiltrate hospitals. And she was talking about how people that went to sexual boundary violation, the treatment at the mental hospitals is not compatible with them. But the reason is because they infiltrated the hospitals, so people won't have a chance to have a housing without being raped. And these people, they would also do that to people at the other side. So the people that rape in one country and its enemy countries are one and the same. They're connected. Because the objective is to present the people that speak about rape, that say no to rape, as treason. Now what happens with such committees from darkness to light, mechoshech leor? They're supposed to be good, to treat children or to treat adults that may have gone through sexual boundary violation in childhood. They are affiliated with the Epstein files. And I have to defend Orly because Orly was raped. And this is how a juncture of place where people were supposed to come out of. And Orly is not, let's just say, yes, she did not know what is dark or cold or what is this, but she was just a person that was raped until 14, probably ritually raped, and because they remembered only the rape and did not remember that anything more, then they did get help, and then they saw there's no therapy for people. And then they infiltrated this place so that people would not. Now, the therapist that, one of the therapists that infiltrated, that probably affiliated with the Epstein, this therapist was tortured, would also treat her daughter. And when they do that, they do an embargo, so a person cannot go to ask for help for anyone. No. And when person is raped, then of course their house will be messy. Because they try to prevent these people from having housing so that they will traffic people in houses. Oh.